This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Yeah, it's almost like she's a mind reader, because essentially what we're going to talk about today, I said to somebody yesterday who was going through some challenging situations, and I simply said that you can only control what you can control. We want to control everything, but we can't. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but once you realize that, things change a little bit, and we're gonna talk about that and so much more with her. She is an amazing life coach with a lot of perspective. So great to have Cindy Valente back on the program with us. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you. That's always such a nice introduction. You always do that very well. Thank you.
Comes from the heart, quite honestly. No, I mean that. It's,
Appreciate it.
there's no scripts here. It's, I believe it. I believe it. And truly believe life can change once you have that realization about what we're going to control. How do you frame that?
So something I've been thinking about lately is this idea of control. We talk about it like it's something we have, but most of the time we really don't. We don't control how people show up, what happens to us, or how the world moves around us. What we do control, at least more than anything else, is our point of view. And it's that simple.
When it comes to control, it's understandable why we want as much as we can get, because it keeps us comfortable, and it's the perception of us being safe, which, in my understanding, that's what we all want. We just want to feel safe. That's it. Goes back to the same thing. It's always back there, to feel safe. How can you feel safe? Well, let me just control everything, and then I don't have to worry. I'm in control of it. So it's on me now. But like you said, most things we can't control.
Right. And it's very misunderstood. The idea that external factors actually matter way less than we give them credit for. People assume their environment, their circumstances, or what other people do has this massive power over their lives. But do they truly determine our results? Not really. And the more we understand that, the more powerful our internal world becomes. So let's talk about what happens when we stop trying to control the world and start taking responsibility for how we experience it.
I'm not even sure where to begin there. I got the whole thing, let go of control of, control the things you can control and let the rest of it go. But it's a lot easier said than done.
That's exactly right. So it sounds simple unless it's happening to you. So I'd like to share a personal experience how I once gave away my power without even realizing it. It was the tone being used with me and the power I gave it. It was irritating, humiliating. It made me feel anxious, defensive, and frankly hurt my feelings. And this wasn't just a once, obviously, but it took time and a lot of practice and a lot of repeating to myself and realizing this has nothing to do with me. And I remember to breathe, which I'm always saying on our shows, breathe, take it in, take a moment, the power of the pause. And I'd say often to myself, the tone is theirs, my peace is mine. And that was so powerful. And for anyone out there experiencing situations like that, it really, you need to come back to who your center, your peace, your control. Because what other people do, how other people make you feel is on them. It's not on you. And don't take it in. Don't let it in, resonate within you. Keep your peace, keep your inner self and your strength, your inner strength.
What I just got a vision of the control thing. And I believe many of us feel that when we're letting go of that control, which we need to, as we're talking about here,
Right.
that it's a feeling of defeat.
Right.
It
is.
Right?
Well, right. We feel like it's all been taken away from us, and what do we have left? And it is a personal defeat. We feel defeated, and it really isn't. And that's when it takes sometimes more strength than we even realize we have to snap out of it, get back the personal control, and realize this has nothing to do with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Mm. Are there steps? Are there things that we can do when we're in those situations
Oh, sure.
to make this easier?
To simplify it, sure, there's
Yeah.
tips. Freedom is not controlling.
Mm.
And the moment this was a good one for me. Catching the body before the story begins. And what happens is we get a tight jaw, our breath shallows. Awareness starts physically, not mentally. So we already know we need to become aware that all these little things are happening before it even begins. So we can control, breathe, and not allow these other steps to come into play. Don't let it be a part of it. And really, will this really matter in a week, a year? No, it won't.
Mm.
And obviously, we've talked about this, Steve, so many times. Drink water. Drink water takes away anxiety, and I've had to experience this. This is why I can say it with because it's so true. And maybe it's because it takes you away from the moment, but drinking water actually does physically take away anxiety. And also go for a walk, and my personal favorite, journal, write, get it out. And these are a lot of tips that can help you overcome allowing anybody else to be a bigger part of your life in a controlling manner than you have for yourself.
Now, you talk about journaling. Do you think, Cindy, would it be impactful for us to list what we got going on and highlight what is controllable and what is not?
Oh, that is fantastic idea because it truly puts, kind of a pros and cons list. And it
Mm.
really, I think, if we can look at it side by side, we realize there's so much more that we can control. And the things that we feel we can't control, but we really can, become much smaller as we start writing the list. At least for me, I think. And we start looking at this list that we think we can't control, and it looks almost silly. We're like, oh my gosh, I can really control that, but I'm not allowing myself to do it at this moment. And what's happening in my life right now that's giving me that weakness where I feel like I can't control it.
Do you find after a while of practicing this that it automatically you let those things go?
Oh, sure. I mean,
It's
I
like
think,
autopilot to the point because I'm right here and everything we're talking about, I went through it, controlling things, worrying about things that are out of your control and all of that. And I just had a flash. I wanted to use everything you said, and I did a scan in my mind. What's challenging me right now that I can't control? And I'm like the things I can and I can't. There's nothing that I'm challenged by at this moment that I want to control. Like I guess I figured it out where it's like it automatically I don't even think of those things because it's off. I'm not. Gotta say this though. It's not to say that you won't get triggered. Something takes place, and then you're like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, hold on there. Wait. And then it's like, oh, let that go. Because I can't do anything about it anyway. Does that make sense?
but it absolutely, but it's a very short span of time between thinking you're out of control to thinking and realizing you are in control. And it can be that quick of a take charge,
Mm-hmm.
not always take control, take charge of your feelings and the emotions that are taking you over here. I mean, there's always an option to feel weakened by allowing somebody else or someone's ideas or words or anything else to come into your life. But it also is that quick to shift your mindset, change your trajectory of your thoughts, and go that direction. But it really does take control. It takes practice for sure. like anything else. Practice, practice, practice. And it becomes, you go into autopilot of, I got this.
Yeah. It becomes almost like second nature.
Right.
But that's not to say I had a thing present last week, wasn't expecting it. And for that moment, call it a trigger. I'm like, wow, wait, hold on here. Wait a second here. And then I'm like, got to take control, only to quickly realize I can't do anything about it anyway. Stop. What are you doing? It'll
Right.
all, the pieces will all fall where they need to. And it actually is now working in my favor because I don't know, maybe it's because I let it go. I don't know, but it'll, mom used to say this and I'd be like,
Right.
it'll all work out. It'll all work out. No, it won't. It does though.
It does.
I don't know how it does, but it does.
Mama said there'd be days like this.
Yeah. Yeah. What else can you
And
share with us about letting go of control, realizing what we can control and what we can't?
and what actually does matter, your habits, what you do repeatedly will resonate in you and become that practice will be repeated in your, it'll be like a muscle memory start to happen in you that you're repeating to yourself every day that this has nothing to do with me. This is their issues, not mine. And it is repetition. And I think that is big if we allow it to be big into our lives. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to take moments every part of every day and take care of ourselves, whatever that is. And this is one of them. And to take your own control and take control of your emotions, take control of your habits, because what
Mm,
you do repeatedly becomes who you are. And so repeat good habits, good mental habits and strength within you. And it really does matter. I know it sounds simple. It's not, but it can be if you just keep going and going and going. Get up, take action, take responsibility for yourself.
mm. You pretty much professionally said what I said. I tried to verbalize it, and then you're like, "Oh, here it is." But but the habit of letting go of those things, I said, well, yeah, it gets easier after you do that and you start realizing it. And there it is. It's a habit. You create a
Right.
habit of realizing that you can't control certain things. It's almost like automatic, like, spotted that one. I can't worry about it. What am I going to worry about it for? I can't do anything about it. On to the next thing. You're done with it.
Right.
You leave it in the rear view.
And that's something interesting you said earlier is you want to take control. And that kind of signifies that you want to take control of the situation. You can't take control of the situation. You can only take control of how you handle the situation. And it goes back to also your emotional resilience. We talked about this last week, your ability to feel uncomfortable and still take action towards yourself, your inner personal self. Go back to your center. And
Hmm. All right. So question here.
if that makes sense.
It does. And I want to go even a layer deeper. You said that, did I hear this right? You can't control a situation. Are we actually controlling the situation? Let's say it's a situation where you have control. Are you controlling the situation, or ultimately you're just controlling how you deal with the situation?
Exactly.
Hmm.
100%.
But do you think it's an illusory that we think we're controlling the situation, but really we're just controlling what we're thinking?
Isn't that all one and the same though? It's still a mindset. It's a mind shift.
That's why I'm throwing it out
If
there.
we think we are, it's happening. We're
I'm trying to process
manifesting
that. Yeah.
Yes. And that's 100% true.
And I'm trying to come up with a scenario in my mind where you would be thinking that you're controlling the situation, like it's on your side of the fence, but you're really just controlling how you deal with the situation. And therein lies, you think you're controlling the situation.
Like a perspective shift.
Yeah.
Like changing your perspective changes your experience. like
Yep.
seeing setbacks as a redirection instead of a failure. And it is truly perspective.
Mm. Does it come back to the same thing that we've talked about before, that when you want to control a situation, you just want to feel safe?
Yes,
That's the baseline. We want to feel safe. So when things are out of control, you don't feel safe.
right. And then another way to handle it too is just be quiet, because sometimes we try to expose our opinion, and that never makes it go well, because then it becomes everybody's defensive, and it never goes the direction we want it to go. So sometimes just taking a step back, be silent. Silence is okay. Let the
Hmm.
other person talk it out. They'll come to realize that they're getting nowhere because you're not reacting.
Well, there's a lot to be said there, because what do? Something happens and we flip out. You're mad at somebody. Hey, wait, they can't do that. And now you want to control a situation. So what are you doing?
Right.
You're talking. You're just power in the pause. Take a look at it.
Right.
Hmm.
I've seen so many people have arguments over text. I mean, they're typing as fast as they possibly can. The rebuttal is coming in as fast as it can, and the emotion, the escalation of emotion, is. I mean, it's not funny because it's a true emotion. But I'm on the outside looking in, thinking, if one of you would just stop texting,
Hmm.
just stop texting. Don't wait a minute and keep texting. Just stop.
Yeah. How
And
true?
that's control.
Yes. Yes, because you want to control the situation. So I'm going to send another text. I'm going to get this one fired out there. What if you didn't? Is anything going
That's
to go
still
wrong?
control if you say nothing.
You are controlling it. I
Right.
guess, right? If you don't say anything, you are in control. But what it really comes
Right.
down to, isn't it? You want to control a situation. No, don't do that. Control you. That's what you need to
How,
control,
right.
right?
And it is very difficult to do because our emotions get going, the adrenaline kicks in, and we want to win.
Yep. We want to win, but also feel safe. All the two, I think the two are there.
Right.
Sometimes they work together, but sometimes they work against each other.
Right.
What else can you tell us about of giving up control, I guess, or just the control thing?
So, reframing. This is a skill set, building where we practice choosing a point of view that supports our goals, gives us momentum, reduces unnecessary suffering, and increases our clarity. So, reframing isn't lying to ourselves, it's using the most useful interpretation. The situation didn't change, your experience of it did. So, it goes back to just your own, how you reflect and reframe your mindset, so you understand that this situation is happening, how you are experiencing it, and how you are interpreting it. And I think reframing is huge because it will change how you are taking it in, and what the input is of the conversation, and the output. So reframing your mind. And this could be even an argument with yourself. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to include somebody else. I mean, we all have had personal arguments with ourselves, and that is where your strength comes into play, stopping it and get getting outside of that.
It seems like one of the most impactful things that we can do when we're challenged is nothing. Just stop,
Right,
process,
right,
breathe, have a drink of water, and
right,
and look at things, because right away, like you say, the emotions kick in. And if you would just to take a second, take a little inventory of how you're feeling about the whole thing, um, you would have that perception shift.
right. Yes, exactly. And that's important. And it's a simple shift. And, our brains are constantly going, going, going. So if they can go negatively and going, 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 they can also positively go quickly as well. So it's taking charge of your own, where you are in your mental place at that moment. Take away the anger, the frustration, the irritation, and try to see the positive in it. Why is this happening? All right, I got it. Now let's move on. And taking charge, taking control of yourself.
I don't mean this in a negative way, but you figured this out. I've, in the last few years, I've figured it out to a fairly good degree. Things will pop up and, I need to take a second, like, wait a minute, you can't control that. Just let it go. Don't mean this in a negative way, but when you take a look at all the time you wasted and the energy you threw into worrying about things you can't control, your ego getting in the way of all those things, all of that, and ultimately nothing you could have done about it. But all you wasted, the anxiety that went, there, maybe some depression because you got bummed out, but ultimately we couldn't do anything about it. What a waste.
I mean, Eleanor Roosevelt said it best. We've all heard this. We all know this. Eloquently, she phrased, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent."
But it's true.
It's 100% true.
It really is.
It's simple, but I mean, it comes up all the time, and it's so true that, we are in charge of our feelings, our emotions. And, sometimes I don't always like the word control because it's so abrupt, but it's, if we can be in charge of ourselves, every day practice it. Every day, look in the mirror and say something, some affirmation to yourself that's going to give you that power to your own power, so that when you go out into the world, phone calls, emails, whatever you're doing, nothing, be Teflon. Let it just roll off your back and let it be. It's really, like you said, it's just really a waste of time, a waste of energy. And I don't want to think about how much time I wasted letting other people control my feelings and my emotions. I'm so grateful I've learned. I wish, if I knew then what I know now, but, better late than never is what I say.
100 billion%. And they didn't control you. You did.
I allowed it to happen.
But ultimately,
right.
You controlled you in the big picture. You controlled you. We control us.
Right.
But sometimes we allow others to get in the way of that. And with all of this, everything we're talking about, comes peace, comes freedom.
Freedom is huge.
Oh, boy. Yep. How do we find you? I mean, this is just a piece of what you offer. This so impactful today when you figured this out. It's almost funny when you look at things and, people tick you off and you're like, well, I don't really care anymore. So what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And it will slightly irritate them also.
Then there's that. That's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
Thank you for that reminder. How do we connect with you?
CindyValente.com, my website, and my social media links are attached. And I want to close with, at the end of the day, we're not in charge of the world, other people, or how life unfolds. We're only in charge of ourselves, our emotions, our reactions, our point of view. And that's not a loss of control. That's where our power actually lives. So keep the DMs coming. I love it. And thank you for listening. And remember to just be it with Cindy Valente.
Cindy, thank you so much for today. Everybody take charge. Take charge of you. It's
you
really
got
what it is. Yeah. All right. We'll catch up next time.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.